Good evening, everyone. Nice to be with you and welcome to our popcorn kickoff. Grateful to be with you tonight and to talk all things popcorn. We're going to have a good call and hopefully have some things that help you have a successful popcorn campaign this year and some new information if needed for your success in this campaign. So we're going to go ahead and screen share. We know folks are still jumping on, but we'll get our screen share set up here. So we will be ready to go here. Okay, well, good. Well, let's start with some introductions. Tell me where you're coming from tonight, where you're at in the council and representing which unit. So we'll start with me as well. I'm McKay Allen. I serve as the fundraising chair for Troop 519 in Fruit Heights, Utah. And as well, I serve as the treasurer for PAC 35 in Fruit Heights, Utah.
Jake? Hi, I'm Jake Bangeter. I'm the advisor for popcorn at the council level, and I'm also the unit popcorn kernel in PAC 1023 in the Ogden area.
Cool. So we've both had popcorn experience and fundraising with our units, and I serve as the popcorn chair and jerky chair for the council, and really great to be a part of this. So we have units coming in from, looks like Troop and PAC 1111 in Riverdale, Vernal and the Timpanogos District, PAC 11, PAC 820 in Harriman and South Jordan. Keep sharing that. We love that you're on the call tonight and appreciate you being here. We're going to try and get you the information you need to have a successful campaign, but please don't hesitate to reach out. If there's questions you have, we are here to be a resource. Also, your district executive. We want to make sure that you engage with your district executive as needed to ensure you have a great popcorn campaign. So our theme this year is Minecraft. A lot of your scouts might be running around yelling chicken jockey and throwing popcorn in the air. This is perfect for that, as the movie theaters, chicken jockey was the phrase in the Minecraft movie this year. And every time that was said, popcorn was thrown in the air in the so maybe can play off of that when you do your unit kickoff, but your scouts will definitely know what it is. We're excited for this fun theme this year of Minecraft, as it's a popular game. Let's talk about last year, how we did. It was a record year for our council in total sales of $474,743. We had 18 units sell over $10,000. That's a new record. And as well, a new record, 48 youth selling over $2,500 in popcorn. Pretty dang impressive. And the Oker Mountain District has taken the popcorn world over in the council with $104,000 in sales. I would love to see one of our districts go compete with Oker Mountain, because they are just doing an incredible job. And what's cool about Oker Mountain is 4 or 5 years ago, they weren't doing this well, Jake. They were doing maybe what, 10 to 20,000 in sales. And just in a few short years, they have jumped over $100,000. So congratulations, Oker Mountain District. And we are so grateful for your hard work and what it's doing for your units to have a great program. And then I want you to hear this statistic, because this is pretty awesome. $204,404, or 43% of our total sale, was sold by the top 34 members of the Big Spin Party. Guys, if you have one of those scouts in your unit, go give them a hand and congratulate them. That is pretty awesome. And so we want to just recognize the importance of those scouts who are excited and want to do well with popcorn sales. Let them go and do an awesome job. This is 11% higher than in 2023. So we had 32% of our sales from the top scouts selling. This year, 43. Pretty awesome. I'm excited to see how that trends to this year. All right, we want you to congratulate each other in the chat, give ourselves a hand. We have our top selling units. Our top #1 selling unit was PAC 7 out of the Oker Mountain District, selling just shy of $50,000 at $49,700. Let's give PAC 7 a hand. And then right behind him is a different PAC 7 in the Timpanogos District doing $30,000. Troop 1111 Weber Rapids District at $22,000. 2019 in Timpanogos, $21,000. Troop 7 at $21,000. Troop 51 at $20,000. PAC 1023 at $20,000. PAC 1456 at $20,000. PAC 70, $17,000. And Troop 72G, $17,000. Pretty dang impressive. Congratulations. Here's what's amazing to think about. and the sky's the limit with popcorn sales. Pack 7 sold the highest, as I recall, in council history. Is that right, Jake? The highest dollar amount, and they ranked 138 nationally. So to me, the first thing I think is like, dang, they were only 138. So top 150. But on the other side, that means we have a lot more potential for units to do even more and even better. Because if we're only 138 for our top selling unit, everyone can elevate and do that much more if other units around the country are doing this. All right, and let's recognize our top selling scouts. We had Henry J out of the Weeper Rapids district sell over $10,000. Sergey S over $10,000 and Jacob K over $10,000. 3 scouts over $10,000 in sales. Incredible job. These scouts worked so hard to do this, and we were able to recognize them at the big spin party and the amazing work of being in the $10,000 club. I don't think we've had this many scouts in the $10,000 club ever in 1 year. I think it's always been 1, maybe 2 scouts that have hit that dollar amount. I think only 5 in the history of the council have ever gotten over $10,000. Is that right? Okay. So 5 scouts ever getting in the $10,000 club, 3 last year. We have Carmichael, Tyler, AJ, Denver, Oliver, Brianna, and Killian all in the $5,000 and above club. Really impressive stuff. These scouts worked so hard. Your scouts are incredibly impressive. And the cool part is these aren't just Cub Scouts. 3 of these scouts are troop members as well. So reminder that your scouts in the troop are just as successful at selling popcorn as the Cubs. Okay, let's look at the ideal year of scouting. Jake, you want to talk about this?
Yeah, so with our ideal year of scouting, it's all about making sure that we right-size our budget for what we want to do. So we want to plan an exciting program. We need to make that budget. You can use the Trails End budget tool to assign the costs and expenses. You're looking at your calendars. What activities are you going to do to entice more families to join, or also the families that you already have to just keep having that fun all year long? The way you do it is to raise more money. So set the goals, get the kids and the parents excited about the sale. We got some great prizes, incentives, and things from Trails End and from the council. We'll talk about that as we go later tonight. But let's divide the goal by the number of scouts that are going to sell and go divide and conquer. Our unit in particular, we set out a goal to do 20K, and then we had 10 scouts selling. And so we knew we had to get about 2,000 per kid, and we made it happen. So just set the goal with the people that you've got and get to work on how you're going to accomplish that goal.
If you're like my unit, you're calendaring about a year ahead of the game. So right now we're looking at next year's camp options and various things like that. Plan those things out, because you can't know what to raise unless you know how much it's going to cost. But everything from recharter fees, re-registration fees, to your monthly dues or whatever that looks like for your activity budget and such. And then camp being a very expensive item, but a worthwhile endeavor. We want to make sure that you're in the know of how much things cost and then what you need to raise. So plan it out. Make sure it's a priority for your unit committee. So how did our council do on scout participation? Number of scouts with the sell, we had 416 scouts that sold any item of popcorn. Some cases it was 1 or 2 bags of popcorn and that was it. Others several hundred bags. So we had 416 scouts out of 4,900 scouts. So we only had 8% of scouts selling popcorn in our council. If there's one thing that I want to stress to you tonight, engage more scouts in your unit. Invite them to participate. Do whatever you can to make it a non-threatening or scary experience, but a worthwhile experience. For the units that sold, only 40% of those scouts sold popcorn. So just to that point, let's do our best to engage units or scouts in our units, parents. I know fall is a busy time of year for families, soccer games, other outings. It's fall weather, it's beautiful outside. And so it can be a little tricky, but we want to hear from you. How do you engage more scouts to participate in your unit fundraiser? What are things that you've done in the past or ideas that you've had? Let's go ahead and use the chat. But if you have like, man, I've got this, McKay, I really want to share this, go ahead and open mic and let's just hear, what are we doing to engage unit and scout participation? And while we're thinking here, I'm going to ask Jake to share what his unit did last year to engage scout participation.
Last year, our unit was brand new, and so everybody was new to the sale. So we had a few that went out early and often to try it out, especially in pairs or maybe even three kids and the parents with the app, and making sure that we had kind of strengthened numbers and helping the kids get more confident in making those sales. Once they had kind of their footing, then we invited some of the other scouts and parents to come with some of those scouts that had sold before. And it really made it easier for them to realize just how easy the sale can be. People will buy, they have a scouting uniform, they're asking for donations or for somebody to buy some popcorn to help support their scouting. And they could see that the kids gaining confidence and that they're able to see how easy the app is. And next thing you know, they're out selling every weekend when we're out selling.
Yeah. And did those scouts start selling on their own once they got their footing under them?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And so that's the point is, man, if you're a brand new unit, strengthen numbers, right? We don't want to bombard the place, but 2 scouts, maybe 3 in some cases selling together. If it's a brand new unit, let those scouts feel comfortable and confident and learn together. And then once they're comfortable, let them go, right? They can do it one at the storefront and be just fine. You have brand new Lion Scouts coming in this year. They've never sold anything in their life in most cases, right? And so having a scout that has experience working with that brand new scout would be a wise thing to do, in my opinion. Let's read what's in the chat. We have Sandy White here that has said, we have scouts who want to do more storefront sales, but football prevents them from participating. Any chance we can start it sooner or change seasons? This is our #1 problem with participation. Cindy, this is a really fair point and a great question. You are right. They can do wagon sales. We can sell after the season, but it is product that is on you guys at that point, right? And so this is tricky. Truly, we're not able to change our season of popcorn sales due to the logistics of working with Trails End and their season of doing the campaign. But we can hold on popcorn and maybe do it post, but you're running into the holiday season, and then summers becomes a challenge as well. So if football is truly a challenge for most of your scouts or soccer, I'd invite you to look at our spring fundraiser, which is jerky sales. Popcorn isn't available in that time frame, but jerky is just as successful for our units that participate. Let's go up top, scroll up, Jake. We had one more comment. Our Cubs love the free movie gift or night. So that is awesome. I think that is so great, Shelly. We are doing our best to incentivize scouts to be excited about popcorn sales as a council. And so we're reinvesting funds back into this, your unit, and the scouts because of that. Okay, Christine Mathis, we had most of our scouts sell their goal in yearly fees in 1 or 2 storefront sales. Christine, that is so awesome. And the cool part about that is you can go back to your unit and your scouts this year and say, hey, look, we need you to commit to X number of storefront sales or X number of hours instead of a huge dollar amount. That becomes way more manageable for a parent to process when you say, we need you to commit to 4 total hours, 2 storefront sales, and we should be able to hit our goal.
Awesome.
Anything else there, Jake?
No, not
okay. Cool.
I think
please.
Can't type. I've got one arm. Plus I'm trying to take notes, that kind of stuff. I think the hardest part for our unit is we're really busy and we have a lot of our scouts going out and doing other things.
Yeah.
I'm being the guinea pig for it this year because of our people that normally run it. There's a lot of health problems right now in our unit. So I'm just stepping in and taking over this year, I guess.
Yeah.
But when do we pick up our popcorn?
Yeah, great question. So we're actually going to talk through a lot of those logistics as we go through the slides here tonight. So great question. I'm going to have you hold that thought until we get to that slide, because it's the start of September to answer your question, but more details coming here at the end of the show here, whatever it's called, presentation. Great. Someone asked about what is the movie night popcorn goal. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit, the incentives that you get from selling popcorn. So stay tuned. What are your ways to sell popcorn? We have 3 ways. One, storefront sales. This is your high foot traffic, people coming to you essentially in terms of you're not going out looking for the customer, they're coming to the store. Now, your scout still has to get them to come to the table, right? That's an important aspect of this. But this is a really valuable and probably the most lucrative form of selling popcorn for a one-on-one scout basis here. So your scout sells at the door front, and the popcorn table is set just to the side of the store doors. Online, this is where you can sell virtually to family and friends. Grandma or grandpa lives out of state, whatever the case is, people you know across the country or across the state, this is a great way for them to get product and still support your scout. Safest way to sell by far. And then wagon sales, door-to-door sales, taking popcorn with your scout and the leader, taking popcorn door to door and inviting people to support. This also can be a beneficial option and something that can be very successful as well.
I like this one in particular for when you're trying to finish out the sale and you don't have that many products left, and maybe a storefront doesn't make sense, but you can go door to door and finish that off.
Yeah, great. You want to talk a little bit about this?
Yeah, so something new the Trails End is doing this year. If you are a new unit that's selling popcorn, so maybe you're not new altogether, but new to popcorn, Trails End is offering 2 free cases at $480 retail, where the unit will get 100% of the commission, and you'll work directly with Trails End on that. Basically, it's a way to get your feet wet and make sure it's something that you want to do. And then the idea behind that is it goes well and you want to order more, and we'll talk about those dates coming up, but you could definitely dive in with no risk, and then we can get you some more once you realize just how easy it is.
And this is great for units that are first time selling, maybe a little hesitant or skeptical on how this all works. Great. So we just want to highlight that on the website, there's a lot of great information there as well. Training in the leader portal. So if you haven't accessed your Trails End website yet and the leader portal, reach out to me and Jake. Our email and addresses, or email addresses and phone numbers, are on the council popcorn webpage. So if you go utahscouts.org/popcorn, feel free to reach out to us if you don't have access to this, and we can send you how to get access on here. So a lot of great information. Go on to the training page on here. You'll learn a lot of great tips and tricks on how to make it a successful sale.
Okay, I'll dive into this real quick on getting into this portal that you're seeing here. If you haven't already, go to our webpage and then click the register to sell at Trails End. If you already have done that, then you're good to go. If you haven't, you'll want to get into that so that then you can start looking at this online portal where you'll be able to set up storefronts, invite scouts, that sort of stuff. So I give you that option while you're even here listening to us, get that going.
Yeah, go on the website now, get registered if you haven't done that yet, because this is where you will reserve all of your storefront sales as well. So you need to have access to this and get your scouts access to sell popcorn also. Let's double check the chat here. We got a couple that have come in. Just want to make sure we're not missing anything. Yep, perfect. So just talking about the popcorn sale and what we had there.
Jake, can you say the website again real quick? Trails End website.
Oh, so we'll put it in the chat. It's utahscouts.org/popcorn. And when you're in there, you'll see on the left-hand side the links. You'll just click to the link for the Trails End registration. So you'll just go and get it right there. That's the easiest way to do it.
Oh, okay. So it's on the council webpage. I just gotta create an account from the popcorn thing.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, go register your unit, and then that will let us get you access to the leader portal on the Trails End page. Yeah, great question. Okay. Awesome. There's a lot of great resources on this app, guys. Setting your unit as your goal as a unit, how much product and inventory you have, where the inventory is at. Really, Trails End has gone above and beyond in this regard and making it the most user-friendly possible experience for us as leaders. This is game changer for me as a unit leader. I found I'm able to track my inventory. I know exactly what product is in which hands, how much we've sold. There's real-time updates on sales happening at storefront sales, wagon sales, online, etc. Really great resource. Go explore, go dig. It's user-friendly and easy to navigate. And if you have questions, ask.
I really like the goal part too, because you can put it in there, whatever unit comes up with, but then everybody on their individual apps for their scouts, they'll see that. And then the bar will kind of move as sales
Yeah.
go. And our unit, we moved from 5,000 gold to 10,000 to 15 to 20 as we, got more excited, and it really created a buzz within the unit. So I would definitely,
Yeah,
invite you to use these features.
great. We're going to talk about some new things with the Trails End app. You'll notice there's two phones doing a Bluetooth connection here to pay. Tap to pay is now an option on your phone this year. Whether it's a card or Apple Pay, Google Pay, whatever that looks like, Scouts can now make transactions through your phone in the Trails End app. And this is so cool. In the past, we've had to Bluetooth a Square reader, connect it. Now your phone does all of that for you, which is so neat. Some other information here. I don't know that we need to go in depth, but this is a great feature.
Yeah, and again, Trails End they eat the fees of the credit cards, so that's really nice for us as well.
It's not for you as the unit to pay those fees or anything there. So you'll notice again, tap to pay. Now you'll still want that Square reader just in case you have someone who does not have a tap to pay option, but 80% of your customers, that's going to be what they use, or cash. Easy checkout. You'll notice this is a moving screen here. All you do is the scout or parent. Whoops.
It does that on its own, apparently.
All you do is the scout or parent. You just go in and select which item is being purchased. You go to checkout. So you watch the screen here. They're buying 2 white cheddar popcorn, and they're going to buy 1 sweet and salted kettle. They're going to pay with a card, and then you complete the order, or they paid with a cash, sorry. And then you can send them a receipt via email or text message if they'd like. Really simple and easy, guys. It's user-friendly, like I said. And then notice at the bottom, there's the Heroes and Helpers option, which they can make a donation if they don't want to buy any popcorn. We want to share this video here.
And this is in an app?
Yep, this is the Trails End app, where you download that all your scouts will download. And when you set up your unit on the website, how it works is you'll set up the scout, the parent will get an email or a text message saying, here's your link, and they'll be prompted to download the app at that point as well through that leader portal. Let's watch this little video on how easy this is to pay.
And on iOS, it then gives me the option to use tap to pay, which is what I'm going to select. That opens up the tap to pay functionality. And I'm going to hold up my card. It completed that payment and authorizing, approved. And now my order is confirmed.
Really simple, really easy, and a great feature. Let's talk about the dashboard here, Jake.
Yeah, so this is what your the parent and the scout will see. It has their name at the top here. You can plug in your personal goals and everything. It will tell you your progress for points and everything that we'll talk about what that matters for as we keep going here tonight. You can sign up for your storefront shifts. It will alert you too if you have the notifications. It will remind you of storefronts and things like that. It will help you know your store, kind of how you're doing as you're going throughout your storefront as well. You can easily check your inventory as you make sales and everything. And a nice feature that I like personally with all this is after your sale, it will allow for you to do cash to credit card. So that way you can use your own credit card. You get more points that way towards your rewards. And then you just put the cash in the bank, and then we don't have to worry about leader trying to save.
Yeah, maybe talk through what that means. So if we have a unit leader who they did $100 in cash sales and they have $75 in donations after their shift, what are they doing?
Yeah, so what you can do is it will tell you how much cash you should have based on what you had put into the system.
So in that case, it would be $175 in cash, and it'll prompt you at the end of your shift saying you have $175 in
And
cash.
it says, do you want to do cash or credit? I always clicked yes. You put the 175, I put my own credit card on it. And then, again, the kid, your scout will get more points. And then you can take that money to your personal bank and pay off your credit card part. So it just, it's a safety thing too. It helps you not have to hang out with so much cash all the time, but also then for your popcorn kernel or whoever is in charge of keeping the monies, it's just nice if we just say, okay, we already took care of it with our card, and then we just.
So ideally, at the end of every shift, there's no excess cash sitting there. The parent pays with the card the same amount that was there in cash, and they take the cash with them, and it is now their own cash because they paid with their card what that dollar amount was. So,
all right, we got some questions maybe to answer here.
yeah, do our phones need to have specific settings on to do the tap to pay like NFC? That's a great question, and probably one I'm not totally familiar with, actually. I don't know how new or current the phone needs to be. We might need to play around with that. Like I said earlier, I would say have the square option still available and Bluetooth connection, because there obviously needs to be some form of capability from the phone. I'm sorry, I don't know the answer on that one. Will Trails End do Venmo sales? So currently there's no Venmo sales available, Stephen. I do know at our conference, we talked about that with Trails End, and that is something they're hoping to incorporate in the near future, but it won't be a part of this year's sale, unfortunately.
For what I did with Venmo, we would just treat it like a cash sale. So I would take that money. Obviously, if you have your own Venmo, then it goes to your bank anyway. So then you could run your own card for those Venmo sales as if it was cash.
It's a good workaround.
So that's what we did for
A little more of a headache, but an option still, if it doesn't work for cash.
I do have a question. Again, I can't type. Sorry. Like
No, you're
typing
okay.
one-handed is not fun. It's not good. It's too much pressure. So if I have 6 scouts at a storefront sale, who gets the credit for that?
Yeah, great question. So first thing, we actually are going to encourage you to not have 6 scouts at a storefront sale. We're going to encourage 1 or 2 scouts at a storefront sale. What happens when you have too many scouts is it becomes overwhelming in terms of the scouts being able to do the job successfully. And so what we find is scouts don't do it well. There's little to no success because the scouts start hanging out rather than focusing on the sale. And so I would encourage you to keep the maximum number of scouts at a storefront as 2, and letting the parent take that shift, not you as the unit leader. But then credit to the scouts, you have a few different options on the website. As the leader, you can set it up to where the scout gets credit for every transaction that they make. So you identify who makes the sale, I think, on the individual.
Okay.
And then, but I just set mine up as whoever's at that storefront, it's a 50-50 split. And so for that 90 minutes of sales, whatever they do, 50 to that scout, 50% to the other scout. To me, that's just the simplest and most fair way.
Okay, so there's a way to do that within the app.
Correct. Yep. Just on the leader
Okay.
portal, you set that up in advance, and it really simplifies and does the work for you.
Because I plan on being at all of them, and so instead of having every parent download the app or whatever, I'll just have the app and have them pay me, and it's just quick and simple, and nobody's gonna like have a conniption or whatever.
Yeah. So I would encourage you to let parents download the app, actually, because the scout can then go in and a couple of reasons. This is how they're going to get their awards at the end of the campaign as well. They get all their points through the app and everything. And so this is a really neat feature. And then it allows your parents to engage with it in a different way, rather than just being one person owning it. Now the unit is lifting together. And so whatever it's worth, I think that is your better option from my experience, is let parents have that app on their phone. The scout then can go into their own account, set up their goals, get excited about this campaign. And that's also how they sign up for shifts, is through the app as well. Okay, go ahead and take a look at that one, Jake.
They fixed the issue in the cart where there would be a $0 item left in the cart if you backed out of a purchase without deleting all the items first. I never saw that problem personally, so
I don't recall
probably-
either.
I didn't have that issue.
Yeah, I hope so, Chad. I'm not familiar on this one. Let's keep an eye out. If it happens to you, Chad, or any other unit leaders, let us know and we can let Trails in. They're pretty quick to get these bugs fixed in real time as we mentioned them.
We are going to share this slide in the next newsletter. We're not going to scroll back just because of time, but you will have an opportunity to look at all these slides. If I have more than one unit I support, how do I connect my login to multiple units?
Bill, I'm in the same position this year, so we'll find out together. What I believe happens is on your profile, you might have to have two. I'm trying to think back because I did have this situation a few years ago.
2 usernames.
I had 2 user ID numbers essentially, and yeah, that's a good question, Bill. I'll figure that one out as well with you, but I believe you'll have 2 usernames, 2 passwords. A little bit of headache in that regard, unless they've updated it since 2019 when I last did it with 2 units. So I'm not too sure on that one, Bill. I apologize.
And then Sandy, the cash to credit, among the scouts that sold during that shift, if you do it right after your shift, the scouts within that shift split the points for that cash to credit. I think it goes to the scouts for the whole day if you take too long to do the cash to credit. So I would encourage, if you're looking to do that kind of thing, to do it right at when it prompts you, when you're done with your
Yeah, do
portion.
it within that 20-minute, 30-minute
Yeah.
time frame. Yeah. Okay, any other questions that have come through? Okay, we're gonna keep going on, but feel free, we'll have Q&A at the end of as well. So if there are questions, feel free to send them in the chat. We'll keep checking this. Or if you want to hold on to your thought and ask at the end, we can also help at the end to do a Q&A. On the app, guys, there's a lot of training for parents and scouts as well. Very easy and simple to navigate through the app. This allows parents and scouts to feel more comfortable. So I'd encourage everyone to have that app downloaded. Notifications, sales.
Sorry, can I interrupt?
Go ahead, please.
I just wanted to, while we're here on the mobile app, to follow up on that gentleman's comment about him being the only point for receiving funds, or being the only payment center for receiving funds.
Yeah.
For that, if that's the case, then he's going to have signed into every single Scouts' account on his phone. In order to receive the sale for that scout, for the scout, unless they've made the selection where they're sharing it evenly across all scouts. But
No,
if
you're
you've
right,
made,
Chad.
and if you've got the setting, the system setting where individual scouts receive the sales, then that won't work. You're literally going to have to sign into every single Scouts' account on that one phone that is receiving credit card payments or whatever. So just be aware of that. So it is going to be a whole lot better to have each parent signed into the app with their own phone.
Yeah.
Good point, Chad. Thank you. Great point, and that'll make things easier. One thing I want to remind, if you go back one slide, please. Remind your parents to turn on notifications on the app, because they'll get the prompts of your storefront starting in 1 hour. Here's how you do this, right? A lot of people will turn off notifications. This is one I would encourage you to tell them to keep it on if they're willing. And then online sales, this is a great way for scouts to benefit in a different manner. What's cool is on the online app, your scout can set up his page or her page, pictures, a little quote, or why they love scouting, what their favorite thing is. It's awesome, guys. Trails End has done an excellent job of letting the scouts share a little bit of their scouting experience and why they love it. And then you'll see the blue button there at the bottom, share my page. The scout then can text this link or this page to family, friends, mom or dad can post it on social media outlets. And it's a great way for people to participate in your Scouts experience.
And one more thing I did with my kids after seeing another scout in our unit and his dad do like a video where they have their kid on video in their uniform talking about, hi, I'm so-and-so, and I'm, getting ready to go to summer camp. Can you help support my scouting? Just whatever pitch they want to say. My favorite thing to do in Scouts is this. It's just a cute little video, especially, the cuter they are, the easier it will be. And you can use that as you post to like Facebook or something, put that in there, kind of catch people's attention. And then of course have the link to where they can then see that whole profile that McKay's talking about, and then go and buy some stuff online and have it shipped back to them.
And I'll remind you too, for little Cub Scouts, yeah, cuter works. For older Scouts, being well-spoken, talking slow, speaking loud, those are the things that draw the attention that are just as equally successful. Trails End Scout app online sales. This is for registered, or sorry, excuse me. This has been redesigned so it emphasizes the scout's story and their scouting experience. So I think they've done a really nice job. This is the webpage that parents, friends, family, whatever will come to when they see Jacob M is raising money to go to camp, and he's at $480 of his goal of, I'm trying to see the number there, $1,800 it looks like. And so it shares a better story of why they're supporting the scouting adventure of your scout. Okay, let's talk storefronts here.
All right, so part of why we're doing this kickoff so early is that tomorrow, for those units that sold over 10,000 plus, which we heard was 18, they get to start reserving up to 4 spots for storefronts tomorrow.
So they get first dibs essentially on the storefront sales.
And that's something that Trails End does throughout the country. It's not something that, you know, we can't change those parameters, but this is what they do. July 23rd, all units can reserve at least 2, and July 24th, then people can go in and reserve all sorts of them. I will say we've got a bigger supply now of stores than we've ever had. We made a corporate ask with like Harmon's. We've got more Walmart storefronts. We've got Smith's across the board.
Lowe's across the board, I believe, as well.
We've got other places, even like Albertsons and some other places you can check out there. I will say too, you may have an in with some of these stores where you could sell on a different day and time that is not listed. You can add storefronts into the system as well that aren't already there. But you'll need to do that to make sure they don't get double booked. You can't just assume nobody's just going to be taking that same one. I would definitely plug those dates in and the time frame so that you don't have somebody accidentally pick the same store, same time.
Yeah, so, and here's the reality. We need everyone to book their storefront sales through the Trails End website. If we have 2 units show up to the same location and we get a call on a Saturday saying, hey, this is happening, we're going to default to the unit that went through the Trails End website to reserve their storefront, because that's the way we're asking everyone to participate and do this. Chad, it looks
Not
like
for the app.
Go ahead, Chad.
So this happened to our unit last year where we had another pack show up and they were very rude and irate, and they went around me and went to talk to the store's manager, and the store's manager didn't know what to do, and they were screaming and yelling and making a big scene inside the store last year. So please sign up in the Trails End portal and don't do that to other units, please.
Yeah, and let's be, if something does happen, let's be scouts about it, right? Let's be courteous, kind, respectful, helpful, right? And so there might be situations where as a unit leader you get frustrated, but reach out to us. We're here to help. We want this to be a positive experience. I'm going to invite you to not go to the store manager, though. They have a job. And what happens is we ruin the relationship with that store when we do things like that. So let's keep it internal, in-house. Let us resolve the issue with the store manager if needed. But more often than not, we'll be able to resolve it from our end. So please go through the Trails End website. This is through your leader portal that you'll reserve the storefront sale. So 2 different things. Leader portal, this is an online website that you need to go to. The app is where transactions take place, where your scout has an account. So 2 different things. Leader portal is kind of the backdoor entrance to make the apps work, but the app is where all the transactions happen.
Yeah. An update that they've done is last year they had storefront sales going until 8 o'clock. A lot of the focus or feedback was what's probably maybe for like 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Yeah.
That's kind of a better time frame as it gets colder and darker earlier, and so they've adjusted those hours on there as well. Okay, so something you're going to want to know, if you have 0 people registered to sell in one of your storefront reservations, it's gonna be released by Thursdays at 6 p.m. for the Friday to Sunday reservations. So if you're gonna take some storefronts, make sure people get in and claim the 2
Claim
hour
the shift,
block
yep.
shifts, so that you don't lose those. But part of that's because we do have times where people let these go to waste, and some other unit would have used that. So this is something Trails End does on their own, based on feedback over the last few years. And so this is just something that these are kind of the rules that they put in, and I think it's fair.
Yeah.
And it helps everybody. Then there's time for the other units to jump in and grab something that then becomes available.
Because sometimes you'll have a unit that makes a reservation from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Well, there's 4 hours that another unit could have sold at a location because they didn't have scouts enough to sell that day. So this is an important thing, something important for you to know, that this is default happening through the Trails End system. So just be aware of this. Let's take a look at the chat and make sure we're not missing any questions here.
Can the deadline be removed for converting cash to credit? No, you kind of got to do that in that same parameters. That's a Trails End function.
Yeah, so really encourage parents, remind them, help them. It is a training thing, unfortunately, that comes back to you as the unit chair. And so that is important. And so sorry about that too.
Okay, you have 1 to 2 hour shifts for max 2 to 3 scouts. Who is the payment going to if you process your own credit card for any cash? So yeah, that money and all of that is already split among your scouts the way that you have it set up as the unit leader. So if it's by, you split evenly, then it won't matter how you run that card or whatever, it will just give them equal credit.
Now, at the end, if you do have it where it's cells going to each individual scout, you might on your side have to, okay, $35 to Carmichael, $30 to Sterling, $30 to, right, do the exact amount and 3 different transactions if you have 3 scouts, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I think we talked about that one. Another bonus to each parent using the app, they now know the system
Yeah.
and are more knowledgeable.
It's engaging your parents in anything we do in scouting makes it so much better, right? We want people to know how to do things and what works.
Okay, Eldon, we would just do the cash transaction right there with our own card and take the cash. Exactly.
Yep, that's how you want to do it. Remind your parents. Sometimes they might forget, and that's where the headache comes in.
Okay, perfect. Storefronts already reserved. I have some already showing. Okay, yes, if you are a unit that sold 20,000 or more, which Sandy yours is, you are called a VIP unit now. It's a new thing with Trails End, and they book certain stores for you based on where you sold last year at high volume. So they wanted to give you your VIP spots. That said, you can release those back if you don't want them and take a different one. You don't have to use them.
Yeah, Sandy, congratulations, and that's a fun thing to have. And clarification, oh, we just talked about that. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's keep going through our slides here. We're getting close, guys. Thank you. I saw one more question come in. Yeah, if you only get scouts signed up for the AM, then yes, the PMs are released, right? So if they only sign up for the first 3 shifts of the 5 available, then those last 2 will be available Thursday night at 6 p.m. Okay. This is just showing the importance and value of only 1 to 2 scouts selling. I would personally never go 3 scouts selling at a shift. It becomes too chaotic and not beneficial for the scout or the parent. 1 scout in or 2 scouts in 1 shift will sell on average $246 of popcorn. 2 scouts on solo shifts will sell $168 individually, totaling $336. So hopefully that makes sense. Your net is greater in the end and everything works out better. Now I will say on the 2 scouts, my unit is a 2 scout on a shift unit. That's just what we've always done. And it works for our scouts because we pair up older scouts with brand new scouts who are first time selling. We do have scouts sell individually, but it's something that is done through signups and not necessarily, what am I trying to say? They're the only scout that signed up in the end. And so they get all the credit for that 1 hour or that 1 shift. Okay, let's look at some of the rewards. Look at this here. We have Trails End that is giving amazing rewards to our scouts. In the past couple of years, it's been Amazon only as an option. As your scout sells product, they get what's called points. As they earn points, it's based off of credit card sales being the highest, cash sales also being a factor, and online sales being a high point system. Points for Heroes and Helpers is a bonus. So any donation given to Heroes and Helpers gets more points for your scout. Based on their total number of points at the end, they get a gift card. Guys, my kids have bought some pretty cool things on these gift cards because they've made so much in sales. So this year there's Nintendo, there's Amazon, there's Walmart, there's Cabela's, there's Target, there's Bass Pro Shops, etc. There's a lot of really cool things that our scouts will earn from this sale.
Yeah, this was the number one reason that one of my kids sold over 3,000 in her first year of sales. She knew what she wanted. She wanted some Lego sets. She knew how much it was going to cost. She knew how many points she needed to get, and she was motivated by that. And she was almost dragging me to the store. It works out really good that way.
So the takeaway, get your scouts excited. I always show my scouts, here's the stuff you can earn or win. Go, right? Like, let's learn how much you have to sell in order to make this happen. Let's talk about the product lineup for this year. You're going to notice a big red X on there, and we're so sorry to share, but the butter popcorn just hasn't worked with the Trails End manufacturer company this year. This was a resurrected product from Trails End, the butter popcorn, and we just learned on Saturday that it won't be distributed to us. We're so sorry about this, but there's a lot of great options of popping corn, salted caramel, white cheddar, sweet and salty kettle, and then microwave butter popcorn. All the items are $20 except for the microwave butter being $25. And so they're great product. And remember, we're selling scouting, not popcorn. So I get a lot of first-time parents that are like, oh my gosh, $20 for a bag of popcorn? Yeah, $20 to make a gift to your scout, to support your scout going to camp. And here's a thank you of popcorn.
Yeah, the sweet and salty kettle is going up in size and going from $15 to $20. Popping corn also going to 20, and salted caramel is getting a little smaller to get to 20, and white cheddar will stay the same.
Yeah.
As will the butter.
And something to just go back there, with your popcorn order, Trails End does a great job saying, here's the product that sells the most when you go and make your order. And they're going to have you input, what's your dollar goal? So if your unit's goal is to sell $8,000 of popcorn, they're going to say, based on sales history and trends, here's what we recommend. 4 cases of salted, 6 cases of white cheddar, 4 cases of sweet and salty, 1 of popping, 2 of microwave, right? It's going to default. And you might say, okay, I actually don't want any popping corn, so I'm going to do 7 cases of salted, eliminate my popping. You can play around with the numbers, but it will auto give you, here's what we recommend based on sales history for your dollar amount. Guys, this is probably the most important thing you can do with your scouts, is have them practice their pitch in front of their peers and parents. At the end of a pack meeting or in the middle of the pack meeting, during den meeting, we want scouts to sell their scouting experience. And so they're going to memorize this phase. I practice with my kids in the car. We have them recite, hi, my name is Sterling. Would you like to support my scouting adventure, please? I'm selling popcorn. They do it in front of me in the car while we're driving to school, to the store, and they do it in front of their peers at scout evenings. We practice all the time. Never, ever, ever ask a customer to buy popcorn. It's so easy for a customer to say, no, thanks, right? And that's the end of the sale. When you say, would you like to buy popcorn? No, darn, lost a customer. But instead, we're making it personable. My name is, and this is a great example. I'm earning my way to summer camp. With a $20 donation, you can pick any bag on the table and help me earn my archery, canoeing, and first aid merit badge, or this belt loop, or my trip to summer camp, whatever it is. And when we create it that way, now all of a sudden the customer is more invested in you as the scout. So parents, leaders, train your parents to help your scout sell them. We're selling who they are, not popcorn.
Yeah, one thing I like is right here, it talks about, the kids say thank you or have a good day after if they get no's. I know with my own kids, sometimes it can be a little bit draining when you get a few no's in a row. but kind of being positive about it. That definitely helps the kids to continue just being excited about it. They know not everybody's going to say yes, and just thank those people. Plus, a lot of those people actually end up coming
I
back
was just
later,
saying,
and they at least give you $5 or something
Yeah.
towards your heroes and
when,
helpers.
when your kids learn how to speak loud, slow, clearly, and politely, you'll get people that come back and saying, "Oh, shoot, your kid was so cute," or they were so respectful. Here's a donation, or tell me what you got. Here's some other examples to practice. Hi, my name is blank, and I'm earning my way to summer camp or to whatever. Can I count on your support? Our scout that sold the most in the USA last year, I want to say he did like 110,000 or something. This was his pitch. Hi, my name's Johnny. I'm earning my way to camp. Can I count on your support? Really simple, really easy. If your scouts can learn this, they're going to sell a lot of popcorn and not be afraid to open their mouths. For storefront sales, have your scouts stand by the door, and parents, leaders, you're behind the table. You're not selling the popcorn. Your scout is. So if you got a scout that's a little shy, you might have to help them, coax them along, of course, but get those experienced scouts selling with that younger scout that might be scared, and it changes everything. Put your scout by the door. Parents, get out of the way.
Absolutely.
Just a reminder, we're not selling popcorn, we're selling the scouting experience. It's a donation, right? These people are making a donation. Okay. These are great slides to share on your parent meeting, by the way. These are really good things. It's a more simple process this year. Everything's $20 except one item. And so I think that will simplify a lot of our experience for our customers of just that one fixed item cost.
All right, heroes and helpers. We've got a new amount of points for that. If you get a credit card dollar donations, you get 1.75 points per dollar now. That's up a little bit more from last year, and cash is 1.5 points. Now, if you do cash to credit, it all becomes 1.75 during your storefront shift.
Even our imaginary points are having inflation, guys.
Yeah. But we are doing our own promo on heroes and helpers. These last 2 years, this has been a huge help to us at the council level when we get returns that we already have products sold based on donations. Trails End wants to help out too by incentivizing for more points to the kids to get more prizes. But we also want to incentivize on our own to get these kids a council shoulder patch for their sales.
Guys, this patch will never be produced again, right? This is the only way you can earn it is by selling popcorn. Invite your scouts, encourage your scouts, promote to your scouts these cool patches, because if they get X number of dollars in heroes and helpers, this is the patch they get. So invite people to make a donation if they're not in a position to buy popcorn. Then that donation can be any dollar amount, $1, $20, $50, whatever it is.
Always have a jar or something that shows that you do take donations. That will always help. For each scout, and it will be logged in the Trails End system, we will be able to see these reports. That's what we did last year. It worked out fine. If they sell at least 200 heroes and helpers, they will get the patch at the end of the season, along with another patch for the $500 sellers, which is on the webpage. You can see that patch. If you sell 500 or more, you get that. If you do 200 heroes and helpers, you get this. And so we'll send those out at the same time at the end of the season. Adults can also earn the patch, especially, you know, if you're popcorn kernel or whoever leaders make sense to give this to. For every 500 in heroes helpers for the unit, a leader will earn the patch as well.
Great. We want to talk about our council incentives. So yes, your scouts earn 2 incentives. They have the points that goes to your Trails In digital gift card. And as a council, we want to support your scouts on their popcorn sale as well. So what we have here is if your scout sells this many number of bags of popcorn, that will tell them what they're earning. So if they sell 4 bags of the salted caramel pop, or excuse me, 5 bags of the white cheddar popcorn, the green, they'll earn a $500 and above patch, right? So they get that patch and then the points. If they want a ticket to the big spin party, we want them to sell the 20 item. And so that's the number of items for each number sold of each item.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
Yep. So 2,500 in sales will get you locked into the big spin party. Unless we have if we have too many, get 2,500. That would be a nice problem to have, but
We'll make it work.
our goal is to get the top 50 scouts to get to 2,500. Last year we had 48 that made it. Let's get to 50. And this is how you do it.
So here's the deal. On the right-hand side, you'll see that there's the Trails in point system for the individual prizes. And then down below, here's what we have. That top row, we have Legoland and Lagoon and such. If your scout sells $12,500 worth of popcorn, they will get 5 spins at the big spin party. If you're like, McKay, what's the big spin party? It's a party that your scouts do not want to miss. It is in January and it's second Christmas for these kids. They will walk away with so many cool prizes and such a fun atmosphere at this spin party. The scout comes with themselves and a couple of guests to this party with the top selling scouts around the council. And we'll send that scout to Legoland on our dime as a council. We'll send your scout to Legoland in addition to the 5 spins at the spin party. Or something equivalent. Let's say your scout's like, I really don't want to go to Legoland. Great, let's send you to NASA Space Camp for the same dollar amount in Houston, Texas, or whatever that looks like. $10,000, you get 4 spins at the wheel. We'll also send you to Legoland. $7,500, we'll get a Lagoon season pass for your scout, and they get 3 spins at the wheel. And that season pass is for 2 people, by the way. 5 spins at the wheel. Or excuse me, $5,000 sold. You get 2 spins at the wheel. $2,500, you get one spin at the big spin party wheel. So much fun. Now the bottom row is our unit incentives. If unit sells $20,000 or more, we'll do a movie night for your unit and a pool party. Now you might say, you know, we want the pool party, we really don't want the movie night. Great, we'll do something different for your unit with this for the same dollar amount or value. And so get your unit excited about these things. $15,000, we'll do the pool party. $10,000 movie night or equivalent incentive. Maybe it's paying for a week at a camp during the off season or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, my kid funded his whole Christmas list with Amazon gift cards last year. I've heard that feedback a lot. Kids are really getting spoiled, both by Trails End and by us. But we are here to reward kids that go out and put in the effort. And if you're not using the app, then you don't get these. So it's another incentive.
They're running Santa Claus out of a job here.
Yeah, Eldon, your child was in the top 3 there. Legoland was great. That's awesome feedback. Thank you. The s'mores flavor has been discontinued.
It just wasn't enough sales nationwide to make it worth it for Trails End. Is the money going to Trails End or to council? Is it processed on the app? Yeah, great question, Krista. So how it works is all the transactions go directly to Trails End, and then your unit is sometimes credited back money, and we write a check to you, the unit, after the campaign. It all varies on how it works. Sometimes you get enough cash to where you might have to, we deposited so much money into our unit account that you actually owe council money at the end of the campaign, because it's 1/3 of all sales that goes back to the unit. Roughly, it's actually a little higher than that.
So if all of your sales end up going cash to credit, for example, you won't end up having an invoice. You'll end up being owed.
Yep.
And then you have the option to put in your unit's bank account and have at the end of the season and have that money filtered
Direct deposit
to your unit bank account. Or if you don't have something like that set up, you can request it to go to council. That money will then go to us. It will show us exactly who's supposed to get what. And then we cut a check.
And you'll see that amount too, of council owes you.
And we'll send the check directly. So you can either have it directly deposited or we get the check from Trails End, and then we in turn give you a check.
Great. Yep. Do you know on that one, Jake?
Does IRS consider cash deposit?
Will we be able to get these slides?
Yes, we'll post this on the website, this whole slide deck.
Does IRS consider cash deposited to my account to be taxable income? I don't think so, but honestly, we're not really working with that much here. I think that top seller kid that sold 100,000, yeah, he has to do a lot more taxes, but a lot of us are, it's not very much.
Yeah. Fair question. I don't honestly know the answer to that one. I apologize. So we might have to ask someone who might know.
Okay, commissions. This is gonna be the same as last year. If you've done this before, your base rate is 33%. Online is 35% just straight up. You get additional bonuses if either you sell everything that you order under 5,000, or you sell
So if you have at least 5,000 in sales, you get an additional 2%, so 35%. Or if you don't return any product, let's say you only order 3,000, but you sell everything, you'll get that additional 2%.
Exactly. Then 7,500 probably get 2% to 37, and 10,000 plus 39. So on top of the fact that you're going to get a movie night at 10,000, you're going to get 39% commission.
Yeah.
So then if you know, then at the 15,000 or 20,000, you have opportunity to get back from council another $750 or $1,250 just for more things to do with your unit, and to invite more to be a part of your unit. We encourage each unit that does hit the incentive bonuses to make those a unit recruitment opportunity.
Yep.
Get more kids involved, knowing how awesome you guys are, how much money you're generating, and that will lure more people into your
When your program is good, people naturally come to scouting. So let popcorn be a good thing for your program. Dave, hands raised, just making sure you don't have a question that you want to ask.
Well, I just figured out what to do about my own question. Instead of depositing the money into my personal checking account, I would deposit it into the troops checking account.
Yeah.
And
Good point, Dave.
then use the troops
Yep.
bank card to make the payment.
Yeah, there's a good solution. Yeah, hopefully every unit has a unit account, and that's the way to work around it, Dave. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that.
All right, our order delivery dates. First order, they're due Friday, August 15th. We want as many orders to come in by then as possible. We won't be making our order till that next Monday. So if you really need the weekend, we can give that to you, but we'll have to follow up with units on that next Monday.
Please have it in by Friday.
Yeah, we really don't want to be making 60 phone calls to units trying to make sure we get all the orders. So if you know what you're doing, send it in. If you need help, let us know. We're happy to help with those.
Yeah, call us in advance as you're trying to figure this out. Maybe you go and talk to your unit over the course of the next month and you're like, man, I'm just lost on what to do next. Call us. Let's walk you through it.
Then orders will come in to us on the 4th of September. We'll contact units once we have everything sorted and know how we're distributing. In some cases, you'll get it delivered to you. In other cases, you'll come pick it up at a certain spot.
And it depends on where you live. So units that are not close to either our Orem or Ogden service centers will help in distributing popcorn to you. But for our districts right across the Wasatch Front here, we're going to ask that you come to those facilities, Wadman Corporation in Ogden or the Orem Scout Office, to pick up your popcorn.
Yep. Second order, that's for units that, let's say you ordered X amount and it's going really well and you need more. Or maybe you're one of the new units that dabbled in it with TrailSense incentive for 2 free cases, and you saying, okay, yeah, let's do this. Let's go get some more. Make your order by that Monday, September 22nd. It will come back a week and a half later, so you can keep selling the next weekend.
And what we'll do as well is we'll have units sometimes that order just a little too much and their popcorn's not selling throughout the campaign. On our side, we'll try and track that. And so if you reach out to us saying, we want more popcorn, we might say, hey, there's actually a unit down the street from you that might be interested in giving you some of their surplus. And we can do a transition from one unit to the other of inventory to do that. And so that's a win for everyone when that happens. So loop us in if that's something you're interested during the campaign of needing more product.
Yeah, and then this final order is like if you did wagon sales, didn't have any product on hand, and you need some from us, then you'll make it's called a take order. You'll get those orders in by October 27th, and we'll distribute that 2 weeks later. Or if we have it on hand, we'll get it to you as quick as possible.
So let's say grandma or grandpa lived down the street, they ordered popcorn, but you didn't have that. And so this is when you'll deliver it, is back later in the fall season in November. Just a reminder, return policy, we will only accept complete cases of popcorn for return, and only 15% of your order can be returned. So please note that if you make a $10,000 order, you got to sell 85% of your product. Does that make sense? And so prepare, make sure you do it. Worst case though, guys, we're nice. We want to help you out. So communicate with us if things aren't going the way anticipated, but make every effort to abide by these policies, because this is so important for the success of your scouts and units. 15% is what can be returned to the council.
Yeah, and part of this is, again, with all the incentives that we're giving back to the units, it really hurts
We take
from
the
our
hit.
end.
Yeah, we take
If
the hit.
all these extra things are going for the big spin party, for the unit incentives, and if we're eating a lot of this cost of product at the end, that's counterproductive for us in the end on our
And
end.
unfortunately, we had to implement this policy because we had some units several years ago that brought back $10,000-$12,000 worth of popcorn. And guess what? We ended up losing money because of that. And we don't want that for you. We don't want it for us. So let's make a plan. Let's abide by that plan and you'll be good.
And that's part of why we also incorporated the second order.
Yeah.
So if you're kind of like, we think we can sell this, but let's start here.
Go prove it, right?
And go
feel
go
good.
a little bit less and then come in with that confident order after.
Yeah.
How many bags of popcorn are in a case?
In most cases, 12 bags of popcorn. The only difference, popping corn does not. That has 9.
And Unbelievable Butter has 6.
Yeah, Unbelievable Butter is a box of popcorn, right? There's like 20 bags or whatever in that box. And that has 6 boxes in that case. Everything else has 12 bags in the case. Great question. We're running low on time, so let's whiz through this next little bit here and we'll do Q&A at the end. So key dates to remember, sales start September 6th and go through November 9th. Monday, July 21st, this is the Zoom call tonight. We will repost this on the website where that hyperlink is. We'll post the YouTube channel or video of this so you can rewatch it if you need to. We'll also post all these slides on the web page as well. Friday, August 15th, deadline for first order. Thursday, September 4th, popcorn arrives. Monday, September 22nd, deadline for second order. Thursday, October 2nd, popcorn distribution for the second order. Then November 3rd, deadline for take orders. And unsold popcorn due. That is a hard deadline. We need all popcorn returned by November 3rd. Here's some great QR codes, things to get support. Trails End has a lot of awesome support out there, guys, whether it's their Facebook group where you can go and ask questions and you'll have other unit leaders responding to you saying, here's what I do in that situation. So many good things on that Facebook group page. I'd invite you to join that. Scan the QR code right now. Go visit that page. Also, Trails End support. Trails End is good, guys. They get back to us when there's questions, problems, a ticket. They do a good job at their customer support. We want to utilize them as a resource. That's why we partner with Trails End for this campaign, because they are such a good support. Jake's contact information, my contact information, and Jason's contact information. Jake and Jason are professional scouters, can help with a lot of the logistics. I've been doing popcorn for years and can also help with a lot of the logistics. So guys, our emails, our phones are wide open. Please reach out to us and then our popcorn webpage. This is the end of our training. Best of luck in your popcorn sale. We are here to help you. We're here to support you. Go and do some awesome things this year. We have seen incredible experiences with popcorn, so go make it a great sales year. We're going to stay on the call. If there's questions, feel free to ask. If not, jump off the call and have a great night. Thank you.
Okay, Sandy, let me answer that question on the at the end of this chat here. It says only 15% of the popcorn order can be returned. Since there are multiple orders, is it 15% of the cumulative orders or 50% of the most recent order? 15% of your cumulative
Yep.
order. So if you're, as you're adjusting, for that, keep that in mind.
Yeah, great question, Sandy. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Feel free to reach out if you have questions and we'll talk soon.